Check your clocks, people, because this is one of the times where Donald Trump is actually right. Watch.
So I watch Bernie. He wins. He keeps winning. And then I see he's got no chance. They always say he has no chance. Why doesn't he have a chance? Because the system is corrupt. And it's worse on the Republican side. Because I'm up millions of votes on Cruz. Millions.
Millions. He's up millions. Look, man, he's right. He is up. And so is, and Bernie has won. He's winning. And yet, when he wins, he loses. Now, of course, he used Bernie as an example, because look at what happened in Wyoming. He wins and he comes out with less delegates. Like, how the fuck does that happen? Right. It happens when the establishment crafts rules to use against insurgent candidates. Now, the Democrats didn't just rig it just against Bernie, just to spite Bernie, right? No. The Democrats created the system back in the 1960s after the loss of George McGovern. He lost, and the party essentially said, well, fuck that. We're going to make sure to ignore our base and make sure any candidate nominated will have to have our approval in the end. Now, the superdelegates have traditionally voted with the candidate, but that candidate has always been safe for the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders, not so safe for the Democratic Party. Now, on Trump, this is not quite about Bernie. He also said this, quote, "I'm not a fan of Bernie. I couldn't care less. As far as I'm concerned, I couldn't care less about Bernie. But he wins and he wins like me." Classic Trump. Now, where his interests intersect with the truth, he's actually all over it. But it has to be in his interests for him to be honest about it. Now, is he getting fucked by the Republican establishment? Oh, yeah. They're planning to screw him. They're planning to screw him hard. Now, of course, his economic plan would be a disaster, even for Republicans. A lot of his other plans would be a disaster for Republicans, so it makes sense that the Republican Party would be against him. And plus, he's against some of those free trade deals, which the Republican and Democratic establishment, they just happen to love, right? So, there you go. And also, he's been very, very open about being fairly racist. So, all this stuff that he's for and against, all the stuff that he's been saying, well, that's caused him to basically ruin the Republican brand. They were keeping all this racism, all this just terrible stuff under a tight lid. What Donald Trump has done is that he's Donkey Konged that lid open. And all that shit comes spewing out into the daylight. That has ruined the Republican brand. And look, hey, let's be honest, I'm not going to cry about that, right? Now, Bernie, however, is very, very different. He's vastly different than Trump. Because what he's trying to do is he's trying to bring the Democratic Party back to what it actually stood for. Working people first, instead of multinational corporations first, then followed by donors, then followed by the people in a very, very distant third. That's what he's trying to do. I guess you could say the same thing of Trump when you say he's bringing the party back to where it used to be. But in reality, he's just exposing the party and the people in it for what they actually are. Now, finally, Trump, I got to give him some credit because he actually does say something else that I agree with. And I want to show that to you right now.
We've got a corrupt system. It's not right. We're supposed to be a democracy. We're supposed to be, you vote and the vote means something, all right? You vote and the vote means something.
Now, he also said it's not right, whether it's me or Bernie Sanders, when I look at it and I see all these victories that I have, and all the victories that he's got, and you look at the establishment, I want to tell you that it's a corrupt deal going on in this country, and it's not good, and it's not fair. Now, he also said that the system is disenfranchising people who want to see America great again. He also adds, I think we're going to be fine. We're doing really well, but we've got to have a system where voting means something. Now, again, I don't agree with Trump on very many things. And I have no doubt that if this system was actually serving Trump, he would have absolutely no issue with it. We wouldn't hear anything. Remember, he only raises the issue when his interests intersect with the issue. But still, because that system is being used against him and against Sanders, I am actually happy to see that people are bringing this up. And maybe, just maybe, with enough attention, things might change. You'll get people to get more active. We'll see people getting more into the political process, into the system, paying attention, protesting, being active, and getting out there and actually voting and doing something about it. Now, voting is not the end of the process. It's just a beginning, but it is a good beginning to have. Because the more people vote and the less influence money has in the system, the more politicians will start to actually reflect the will of the voters. And when that happens, the better our country becomes for the average person instead of just a wealthy few. And that, right there, that's really how you can make America great again.